everybody. My name is Esha Paul. I'm a student of class 10 at the ChoiceSchool, and up until a while ago, I was like every other Gen Y kid or millennial as they call it these days. A head full of dreams and my phone constantly in my hand. If I was bored, it was my first choice. And I would spend hours surfing random stuff on the internet every day. But recently, I came across something that completely changed my perspective on how addictive a habit this was. It revealed something to me that was hiding in plain sight. It's right in front of all of us, but we just don't see it. Why? Because we're too busy looking at that funny cat video or stalking your sister's best friend's, brother's, girlfriend's, cousin's account on Instagram. I mean, it's become a way of life. For every 2 steps that technology has taken further into this century, humanity seems to lag behind a step. Technology has completely changed our lives, and most definitely for the better. I mean, I have nothing against phones or laptops. I love my phone. But we have let it seep into our lives so deeply that no one sees its drawbacks anymore. And it hit me that it's going to stay this way unless we do something to control ourselves. The internet has already made us impatient people. We have everything that we could ever want right at our fingertips. There's no need to wait for anything at all because the internet provides us with it all, from phones to books to groceries to even furniture. No more going into tens of stores and walking around for hours searching for the right dress and the right size and the right color. Just click a few buttons and buy it online. We have been provided with every provision in the world, and it's creating such a laid-back attitude. And it leads children to believe that everything in life comes this easily, like love or relationships. And when it doesn't, we are surprisingly disappointed. No child ever has to worry about figuring out what kind of person they are or what it takes to make friends, and the right ones at that. Because the internet allows you to be literally anyone, communicate with anyone. It may seem like everyone's life is all rainbows and unicorns on the internet and that you are the only one suffering, but it's not. People put the highs of their life on the pedestal that is social media, but there are lows too. These devices have begun to affect the children of this century, controlling their emotions, their relationships, their outlook on the world. Seeing these people with these amazing lives on the internet, children question every action they make, like, am I smart enough? Am I pretty enough? And it just creates an all the more traumatic scenario for adolescents. Nowadays, every 2 and 3-year-old can easily work an iPad or a smartphone, and playtime ensues playing Candy Crush Saga for hours on end. Before, all we had was outside. And we see so many teens these days who smoke and drink just to post pictures on the internet. The scenario has changed so drastically that it's altering our ways of life. It's curbing our capacity to form meaningful relationships. But as much as it is our fault, the people around us are also making mistakes. For instance, you see so many parents these days who smoke and, you see so many parents these days who promote their kids on social media, calling them child prodigies, putting them on Facebook just because they're hungry for fame. Like I said before, it's just added pressure on these kids to impress their parents and the world at large. Now, I'm not saying this generation is bad or useless or lazy or anything. And I'm not blaming them either, because this is the environment that they were born into and that they were encouraged to adapt to. But if we don't stop curbing the imbalance of technological use, starting with children itself, it's going to be harder for them as adults to detach from their phones. It'll start as a pastime, move on to being a mildly bad habit, and then lead to a full-blown addiction. Social media and the internet have the power to be as addictive as alcohol or drugs. And just like alcohol and drugs, it too will slowly destroy relationships, cost you time, cost you money, and make your life worse. Now, I can stand here and complain about this problem for hours. Anyone can. But then this talk is pointless. What I can do is try in my own small way to help you. Now, I'm not saying completely stop using gadgets. Completely quitting using your phone is illogical. We become so attuned to using these devices for everyday activities that it would just derail daily life. A full electronic device detox is good, no doubt, but it's still only a short-term solution. There are some long-term means that we can use to help ourselves and to help each other. Taking the advice of a reputed author and TED speaker, Mr. Simon Sinek, instead of charging your phone in your room at night before going to bed, charge it in the living room. So that way, you remove the temptation of getting up in the middle of the night when you can't sleep and taking your phone and sitting on it for hours. Or you won't be like, yeah, I'm going to sleep now, and then stay on your phone until 3 a.m. in the morning. It's been done, I assure you. Now, the main excuse people give when they hear this, he says, is, but it's my alarm clock. I can attest to this because I've used this very excuse with my mother multiple times, and I'm sure all of you would have done the same. There's a simple solution to this also. Buy an alarm clock. They're not that hard to find. In the morning, instead of checking your phone first thing, say good morning to your family members. Look out the window. Plan your day. Enjoy life. Secondly, do we really need to take our phones when we go into the bathroom? I mean, I get that it's entertaining, but it's no reason to fuel an addiction, you guys. Another trend that's been coming up these days is that of the gadget-free vacation. So there you go, that's 3 good ideas already. Fourth, ban phones at the dinner table. Just ban them. In most contemporary homes, dinner time is the one time where people really sit down and connect with their family members or close friends. And so it makes no sense for you to be sitting there texting someone who is somewhere else, especially when you have so many interesting people that you know right in front of you. I've seen kids sit in front of mile-long buffets, absolutely oblivious to the mountains of food in front of them, with their eyes glued to a screen and no food on their plate. And everyone around them does nothing to stop it. Even when we go out as friends for a dinner party or a simple hangout, one of my friends, her name is Danielle Matthews, she's somewhere around here, she has a habit of taking all our phones from us, keeping it in a pile right next to her where no one can reach it, and we only get it back at the end of the day. I don't know where she got the inspiration, but yeah. And we only get it back at the end of the day. And so there's no wall between us. We're free to connect and to mingle with each other, which is what we've come to do. Initially, it used to annoy all of us because we were so attached to our phones. But now, it doesn't matter anymore. We're all used to it. And it's worked so well for us. So you see, it's small ideas like this, small changes that can completely turn your life around. And before deciding to go big or go home, let's decide to take baby steps. The world progressed so much in the 21st century that somewhere along the way, we forgot how to embrace life. When you stop everything, look around and observe the world, that's when you truly enjoy life. When you put down your phone and actually talk to the people in front of you, that's when you can learn the deepest things about them and how you can form friendships for life. That's when your head starts to form ideas and how you can give birth to innovation that can completely change the world. And in the end, it's the small things that matter. Now, we've heard this from countless adults time and again and to no effect. So it seemed to me that maybe this time, if it came from a teenager, someone who is most affected by this situation, maybe people would get it. This may not be an uncharted realm or anything, but we have been ignoring it for too long and have been blind to the fact that it doesn't take much to create a positive outlook on life. I know I am not old enough to be giving parenting advice, but I do think I can make a request to all parents. Please, take some time away from your phones and spend it with your children. You may be able to save them from peer pressure, addiction to alcohol and drugs, and other things that could eventually lead to depression. Parents don't need to be their best friend. They have more than enough of those at school and on Facebook and Instagram who guide and misguide them. They need you as parents, a role which no one else can take on. Keep track of what they're doing, where they're going, how they're spending their time on their gadgets. Now, teens being teens will obviously come up with the privacy issue, but privacy is definitely not more important than their life. So parents, it's up to you. This is an impending crisis as big as anything else going on in the world right now, because it's just been running its course for so long and it needs to be addressed. I may not have done much of note in my 16 years, but I do hope that I was able to influence at least some of you today to take the first step towards weaning yourself and your loved ones away from this treacherous gadget addiction. Pray for me, because now I have to go face my friends in the back who are going to be cursing me for giving you this advice. But anyway, thank you for taking time out to listen to a little girl with something to share. And before I go, just a reminder, buy an alarm clock. Thank you.